Is it true? And I read this somewhere. Of course, people tend to sensationalize things, so I will ask you to confirm. That you said, "Man, I will never do TV again." Did you say that?
Yeah.
And that's for the same reason? That it's just too much?
No, it's not for this reason. Because things did get better for me on television. I mean, I left it when I had already done many shows and I was kind of like, I'd become a senior actor.
Right at the peak, what one would say, no?
Is what people have said. So I did leave it then. And the thing about giving any career 10 years of your life is that you reach a point where things start to happen according to you. So you can decide the number of days. People directly reach out to you and they offer you things, parts, and you can have your own terms. You can decide how many days, how many hours, and you're kind of like your negotiation power becomes better.
Of course.
So you have more rights.
Yeah.
And more comfort.
Correct.
So I had that on TV. So it's not because of lifestyle. I just feel that part of my acting career, I think I've given it my all. And I've done whatever I could on television. Now I don't connect with it anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what drives me is this creative, excitement. Like my pursuit is different.
I think you may have just outgrown the content.
Yes. Outgrown the content. Yeah. I'm also exposed to better stuff, right?
Yeah.
This is a lot like cinema again. When you watch things or when you get to work with certain kind of people, you see the other side of it. And I've seen the other side and I prefer that.
Yeah.
So, and luckily I am getting work in that space.
Yeah.
So why would I not do that? It's like basically graduating from one thing to the other. You wouldn't go back to doing, I'm not saying that it's any less. It's just a different medium. And everything that it had to offer, I was there for it.
Yeah.
And I've also given it my all.
You grabbed the opportunity you got, you made the best of it, and then you went on to the next obvious sort of
because
step.
If one wants to grow, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
You move forward.
I used to watch a lot of television when I was in school, right? We didn't have anything else. Like back in the day, Cartoon Network also, like when we were young, used to start at like 9 p.m. onwards or something like that. Or used to end at 9 p.m. and then, your black and white like movies used to start. So of course, I've seen so much of the K-dramas and, the Indian K-dramas.
Yes.
But now I just go back and I'm like, this is aged so poorly.
Yes.
I just like cannot believe that we are still so regressive on television. And given that the audience is so large, our representation of Indian society is very problematic on TV.
I agree with you. These are some of my grouses.
I'm just like, एक लड़का, imagine कोई green tea दे रहा है. उसको हमने इतना रोमांटिसाइज कर लिया कि अरे वाह क्या लड़का है उसमें ला लगा दो and suddenly it's like wow he's the god of everything. I'm like this is basic stuff. People do shit for each other.
The bar is that low.
The bar is so low कि मतलब वो सारे तुम्हारे काम कर रही है पर तुमने उसके लिए ग्रीन टी बना दी तो अरे क्या हीरो आदमी है.
A lot of conversations online make me also believe that it's quite an accurate representation of society.
It is. I'm sure it is. But
it's not showing anybody the mirror. Nothing is changing because of that.
Yeah.
So,
like
which I think is a lost opportunity, to be honest. It's such a big medium.
Yeah.
I think and some shows have tried that. I don't know if you remember Balika Vadhu.
Yeah.
Okay.
I used to watch Balika Vadhu.
Yes, and some shows that did try to have some sort of messaging.
Yeah.
In, of course, a narrative, in an entertaining way or as a part of a story. And they did try to change conversations. So, like I said, so TV has attempted that a little bit here and there.
The shows that I loved, like you're saying, maybe I was even too young to understand. But I just remembered feeling like, oh, this is a good show. One was Neena Gupta's Saans.
Yes.
Which I thought was a really good TV show.
Yeah.
And the other was Astitva.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember.
My parents used to watch these shows.
Yeah. Like, my granddad used to watch it, right? Where, like, she's an older woman who's married, like, a younger man. And, just about, like, the male insecurity, like, where men are not, like, those alpha, toxic men. You're showing men to be vulnerable. You're showing women to be powerful. Like, वो मैंने थोड़ा देखा नहीं है recently TV पे तो इसलिए
नहीं वो काफी टाइम से नहीं हुआ है recently मुझे पता नहीं है actually recently तो मैंने कुछ भी देखा नहीं है TV पे so I'm not sure but even when I was doing it like I said it was very hard to find things that were progressive that I could see myself in or even find female characters that were more than a bahu or a beti.
Fair.
who had any identity or career or even qualities that were outside of the ideal Beti Bahu box. It was difficult to find those characters.
Did you ever read the script and then you just like, "Ye kya hai?"
Sometimes you disagreed with the scripts
Yeah.
and stuff. But again, like,
That time you may not have been in a position.
I mean,
of,
you could, like certain
Yeah.
makers and your director, if they allow you to have that discussion, you can, but you can't do much about it. As an actor, you don't have that kind of creative control. No matter how senior you are. Ultimately, it is the director's medium, the writer's medium. So, you're a tool. You're supposed to deliver what is intended to be delivered.
Yeah.
You can fight it, but eventually it's going to be, it's really going to be an 19-20 kind of thing. It's going to be what it's intended to be.
Yeah.
You can choose to be a part of it or not.
Yeah.
That's totally up to you.
So, you know, like we had a chat with Smriti ma'am and of course we spoke to her about Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi.
Of course.
Of course. And, you know, we asked her the same question कि मतलब ऐसे जब इतनी resurrections हो रही हैं और आप कभी dialogue पढ़ रहे हो टीवी में तो आपको ऐसा नहीं लगा कि ये थोड़ा अजीब है? And she said मैंने बहुत पेज काटे हैं क्योंकि अजीब था but there is only so much you can do and you get far more liberty, I think, on platforms like, you know, now OTT, you know, where you're immersed in the process and you're not doing it just to churn out content. You're focused on delivering quality content.
Yes.
You
And
know?
it's very precise. It's obviously the quality of writing is different when it's 8 to 10 episodes versus hundreds of episodes that are being written on the fly.
Yeah.
So every day and every minute, somebody's writing the next episode.
Yeah.
So there is obviously, this is a better condensed form.
Correct.
When you have less number of episodes. Those drafts are also written multiple times.
Yeah.
Many people are reading and revising them. So what you get is really the absolute finest.
Gem. Yeah. The
Yeah.
most refined version of
Yeah,
it.
and on television, like she said, I mean, all of us have sort of like had problems with our lines, and sometimes you change them, sometimes you cut them, sometimes you try to find conviction within yourself and deliver them with honesty. But there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
And that change is really not big enough. That doesn't change the show or the trajectory or the message or anything of the show. Because the only actual choice that you have is to be a part of it or not.
But no, I'm glad that you've chosen to be a part of the work that you're doing because I think it's very significant and it's high quality. And I think you resonate with it possibly far more than what you did before.
Because it is a conscious choice. I chose to move away from that into a world where I'm satisfied, where I'm challenged, where what I'm doing and what I'm watching are not two different worlds.
Yeah.
They at least belong to the same kind of storytelling and filmmaking.
वो universe relatable है
Haan.
to a certain extent.
Yes. And it's also being done for reasons, for different reasons. Television is more business than art. And on
That's a very
OTT,
good point,
especially at this
actually.
point, there are things that are being made for purely quality. Of course, they're business also, and the numbers matter. But there are more chances that are being taken, at least right now. It's looking a bit
It's looking good.
shaky. Going forward.
Okay.
Because eventually it will, of course, the numbers will start mattering more. But at this point, right now, and the last couple of years, it's really been about just platforming like new voices and telling stories that are not being told on other mediums. Like I was saying before, like it is the smallest screen, perhaps, because you're watching most of the stuff on your phone. But I think the best content currently is on
100%.
OTT.